So, you've spent decades, maybe your whole life, building this business. And now, you're ready for that exit. You've earned it. I've been in the trenches with countless owners just like you. And today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest, sneakiest risks in any industrial deal: environmental due diligence. Look, my goal here is simple: to give you the playbook to navigate this whole thing, to stay in control, and to make sure you protect the valuation you absolutely deserve. Okay, let's get into it.
I want to kick this off with a story, because honestly, it happens all the time. I was working with the owner of a metal finishing business down in Southern California. Great guy, second-generation owner. He'd built this amazing company, and he had a $12 million offer right there on the table. I mean, retirement was so close he could taste it. And then, the buyer's diligence team found something. And just like that, everything, and I mean everything, was at risk.
$2 million. That's the number that just landed in his inbox one afternoon. The buyer got spooked by a potential issue, and boom, they demanded a $2 million escrow holdback. That's $2 million of his money he worked his entire life for, just locked away, maybe forever. The whole deal was about to fall apart, and he went from being in the driver's seat to feeling like a helpless passenger in his own exit.
You know, this exact scenario is the #1 fear for sellers in the industrial space. A buyer runs their Phase 1 environmental site assessment. It flags what they call a recognized environmental condition, which is basically just jargon for anything in the past or present that hints at contamination. And suddenly, the entire feeling of the deal just changes. But you know what the worst part is? What really stings? This whole mess, it was completely 100% avoidable.
See, here's what happens. The moment a buyer's team finds an issue, they grab the steering wheel. It's their game now. They start setting the deadlines, they demand these huge, broad protections, and they use all that uncertainty as leverage to try and chip away at your price. All of a sudden, you're playing defense, just reacting to their every move instead of running your own game plan. This, right here, is the moment you lose control of your exit.
So, how do we stop this from happening? It's simple. We flip the script. Instead of sitting back and waiting for the buyer to find something, you find it first. Now, this is not about hiding problems. It's the opposite. It's about finding them, understanding them, and defining them on your terms. It's a total mindset shift, right? We're going from reactive defense to proactive offense.
This is the perfect way to think about it. You wouldn't play a huge golf tournament without walking the course first, right? You want to know where the sand traps and the water hazards are? It's the same thing here. By commissioning your own environmental assessment before you go to market, you spot the potential risks yourself. You get to figure them out, size them up, and have a solution ready to go before a buyer even steps foot on your property. You get to control the story from day one.
Okay, now lean in for this slide, because these details are absolutely critical. A Phase 1 is basically a deep dive historical background check on your property. For a buyer's bank to even take it seriously, it has to meet the latest standard, which is ASTM E1527-21. And you see this part here? The components of that report have a 180-day shelf life. They literally expire. If you get this timing wrong, that report you paid good money for could be totally worthless, and you're stuck doing it all over again with the deal clock ticking.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. I'm about to walk you through a clear 4-step process. This isn't just theory, okay? This is the actual playbook we use to keep sellers in the driver's seat, to keep that deal momentum going, and to get to a smooth closing.
Let's walk through this playbook. It's really straightforward. Step 1, you order that Phase 1 nice and early. Step 2, if it flags a potential issue, you don't panic. You immediately authorize a very specific, tightly scoped Phase 2 to get real, hard data. Step 3, while that's happening, your whole team, your lawyers, your advisors, they're preparing everything else in parallel. You don't lose a single day of momentum. And finally, Step 4, you walk into that negotiation with data in hand and you hammer out a solution based on facts, not on some buyer's wild worst-case fears.
And this timeline just proves that point about momentum. A huge fear I hear is, oh no, if we find something, it's going to drag on for months and kill the deal. But look at this. With a plan ready to go, you can move from a potential red flag on day 1 to having a clear memo with actual data in your hands in about 3 or 4 weeks. We're talking about adding days to your closing, not months.
I know what you're thinking. This is great, but how on earth do I do all this digging around without my employees and customers freaking out? It's a huge concern, and it's totally manageable. You simply frame the work as routine diligence for refinancing or an insurance update. You schedule the site visits for weekends or after hours. Your environmental consultant knows how to keep a low profile. You control the information, and you only release the final reports inside a secure data room once a buyer has signed an NDA.
Now, if you happen to be in California, you've got a bit of a home field advantage. You can, and you absolutely should, get way ahead of the game by searching public databases. There's one called GeoTracker that's fantastic for your property and the whole area around it. You can also pull your file from the local CUPA office. You might find old permits or violations you completely forgot about. Finding this stuff yourself means you can prepare an explanation or even fix it, turning a potential bombshell into a total non-issue.
Okay, we've done the prep work. We've got the data. Now it's time to head to the negotiation table. And this is where all that proactive effort really pays off. You are no longer on your back foot reacting to a buyer's fear. Instead, you're presenting a clear, data-driven picture of what the actual risk is, which, let me tell you, is almost always way smaller than they imagine.
And this right here, this is the bottom line. Just look at this table. It's based on that metal finisher's story. The buyer's first demand, totally driven by fear and uncertainty, was for $2 million open-ended holdback. But because the seller had his own data, his own facts, we got that negotiated all the way down to just $250,000, locked in for only 12 months. That is the power of replacing their uncertainty with your facts.
So, what are the tools we use to build that solution? Well, you've basically got two main options. An escrow is pretty simple, but it means tying up your cash. Environmental insurance, on the other hand, is perfect for covering those really unlikely but catastrophic what-if scenarios that keep bankers and lawyers up at night. And you know what? Often, the smartest solution is a mix of both. A small, focused escrow for the thing we know about, paired with an insurance policy to take care of the unknown.
Now, to tell that clean, low-risk story, you need a perfectly organized data room. This isn't just about dumping a bunch of files somewhere. It's about building a case, piece by piece, that shows you run a tight, well-managed shop. The things you see here, a current Phase 1, any testing data, old site plans, permits, this is exactly what a smart buyer and their lender want to see. Having this all neat and ready to go shows you're a pro, it builds trust, and it makes the whole deal go faster.
So, how prepared are you feeling right now? Let's do a quick little self-assessment. This scorecard is a great way to see where you stand and find any gaps you need to fill before you even think about putting your business on the market.
So take a look at this list. Seriously, ask yourself, have you already commissioned a current Phase 1 that meets that ASTM standard? Have you already pulled your public files? Do you have an environmental pro kind of on standby, ready to go? Is your data room organized with these key documents? The more of these boxes you can check off today, I promise you the smoother your exit's going to be tomorrow.
If you walk away with just one thing from all of this, please let it be this. At its core, environmental due diligence is all about managing uncertainty. And this entire playbook we've just gone through, it's designed to do one thing and one thing only: to systematically take a buyer's fear and their uncertainty and convert it into cold, hard, objective data. Because data gives you leverage. And leverage is what gives you control over your deal. You have spent a lifetime building the value in your business. Don't let a last-minute surprise from left field put all of that at risk. By taking these proactive steps, you can make sure that you are the one in the driver's seat, steering your deal to the successful closing you have worked so incredibly hard for. The only question left is, are you ready?